Okay, in this video we're going to continue on in section 6.3 and talk about box plots. And box plots are another visual representation of data that is based on quartiles. Now we've studied medians before, right? Medians, right? That's the middle, right? We talked about lining the data up, putting it in order, and then finding the middle, right? There could be one number in the middle or two numbers in the middle, but the median splits the data in two equal halves, right? What we're going to do for quartiles, right? Quartiles and quarters are things we split in quarters. So the first quartile, which we represent as Q1, is going to take the bottom 25%. Q2 is just the median, right? 225% is the median 50%. And the third quartile is going to be the top 25%, right? So the Q1 separates the bottom 25%, Q3 separates the top 25%. If you think about it, right, here's the median, Q2, right? Split the data in half. Here's the bottom half. We're going to find the median of the bottom half, right? Split the bottom half in half again. That's the first quartile, right? We're then going to look at the top half, right? We're going to find the middle of the top half, split the half in half again. That's the third quartile. So the easiest way to think about these quartiles is first find the median, split the data in half, and then just cover up the top half, focus on the bottom half, and just find the median of that half. Forget about the bottom half, go to the top half and find the median of that half, and those will be your quartiles. Okay, so we're going to do this over here for this example. I'm going to give us some space here to write the answers. Q1, Q2, and Q3. Okay, and we're actually, even though, normally we count 1, 2, 3, I think the first thing we want to do is find the median Q2. So how many numbers are there here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That means there's going to be 5 at the bottom half and 5 in the top half. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my median is going to go right here. All right, this is Q2. Now Q2 is the average of 8 and 10. Right? You might be able to look at that and see that the average of 8 and 10 is in fact 9. Okay? If you don't feel comfortable looking at that and seeing it, then you would just add 8 plus 10, get 18, and divide by 2. Okay? Now to find Q1, we're going to look at this bottom half of data. Right? We're going to pretend that this isn't even here right now. And we're going to ask ourselves, if I had a list of 5 numbers, where would the middle be? Right? Well, if you have 5 numbers, there would be 2 in the bottom half, 2 in the top half, and the median would be right in the middle. Okay? So that's going to be my Q1. All right, because it's the middle of the bottom half. So my Q1 will be 5. Okay? Then I'm going to go look at the top half. Okay? Here's my top half. It also has 5 numbers. So there'll be 2 in the bottom half and 2 in the top half. That puts 13 right in the middle. That's my Q3. Okay? So my Q3 would be 13. Okay? So finding quartiles, right, is not really any harder than finding medians. You just have to do it 3 times. Right? Q2, the median, is the same way it always was, split the data in half. Then you just take each half, do it separately. Find the middle of the bottom half, that's the bottom 25% separator. Right? We now know that 25% of the data is below 5. We know that 25% of the data is above 13, and that means there would be 50% in between. Okay, so finding the quartiles is pretty easy. It's about as difficult as finding the median. You just have to do it for 3 sets of data. The full set, the bottom half, and the top half. Okay. So this is how you find the quartiles. And now what we're going to look at is what we call the 5-number summary. And the 5-number summary is what we use to draw our box plot. So the 5-number summary has the 3 things we just did, the 3 quartiles. It also includes the minimum and the maximum value. Okay. So the 5-number summary, take the smallest, take the highest, and then the 3 quartiles. Okay. What you're going to do now is find the 5-number summary here. Okay. So we're going to say minimum, I'll just abbreviate minimum 2. Quartile 1, right? This is the same, this is the same set we just did. So I'm not going to retrace those steps. We figured out that the first quartile was 5, right? Then we found Q2 was 9, right? Because that was the median. Then we found that Q3 was 13. And the only thing we didn't find that we still have to do is the maximum, right? 18. Now, once you have the list in order, which you need to do the quartiles and median anyway, right? The min and the max should be easy, okay? So finding the 5-number summary, the 3 hardest numbers to find are the 3 quartiles, and we just went over that. The only extra 2 numbers you have are the high and the low, the min and the max, okay? So now we're going to see how we can take these 5 numbers and put them together to make a box plot. So here's the definition of a box plot from your book, right? It's a graphical display of the 5 numbers. It can reveal the spread of the data, and eventually you would learn how to decide if there were outliers. Outliers are sort of extreme values that are legitimate values but might not be considered typical. So sometimes we say, yeah, this value showed up, but it's not likely, so we'll just sort of mark it as an outlier, but we won't include it in the general studies. Okay, don't worry about outliers this semester. What we're going to do is we're going to try to draw a box plot now for this. Okay, now we already know what the 5-number summary is, so I'm just going to go back and save a little bit of time and energy to grab this, right, and pull this over here. Okay, here's our 5-number summary. Okay, and now we're going to draw a box plot. Now the way we draw the box plot, I'm just going to give myself a little more room here, is we're going to set up in axes so that we can label everything, and we're going to go from, we have to go as low as 2 and as high as 18. So I'm going to start at 0 down here just to give myself a little bit of room, right, and then I'll count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and I'll go up to 20, even though I know the maximum is at 18. Okay. Now this is called a box plot, and what a box plot is going to look like is it's going to have a box that shows the 3 quartiles. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a vertical line, because we're going to do horizontal boxes. It's a little bit easier to draw. We're going to draw a line at 5, right? That's Q1. Okay. So I'll label up here that this is Q1. Okay. Then we're also going to put a vertical line at Q2, so I'm just going to copy and move this over. Whoops. Well, I'll just draw another one at 9, so 9 looks like it's right about here. Right. And then we're going to do one at 13. Okay. And then we're going to connect these to make a box. Okay. So this shows the quartiles right, in a box. This is the middle 50%, right? And you can also see where the median falls in relation to this. It's pretty evenly distributed. And the other thing we're going to do, this, when I learned this, this was called a box and whiskers plot, but it's generally now called a box plot. But the reason it used to be called a box and whiskers plot is now we're going to reach down to the minimum and reach up to the maximum. So what we do is we just add another horizontal line. We go down to 2 and we go up to 18. Okay, and this is considered a box plot. So this gives us a picture of where the middle lies. It's a little bit on the lower end than the higher end. You can see this whisker is a little bit higher and this whisker is a little bit shorter. I don't need you to analyze them this semester and really understand them. I just want you to learn how to do them. So you find your 5-number summary, the 3 quartiles, the min and the max. You make a box around your quartiles, and then you extend whiskers out to the min and the max. Okay, so I'll just continue the labels up here that this is the min, right, and this is the max, and now you can sort of see where the 5 numbers come from. Now sometimes you'll see the ends marked with a little line like this just to kind of show that that's the end. It doesn't really matter if you draw those lines or not. Again, most software programs will do it. So you'll see in the homework you'll be asked to draw a box plot. I just wanted to show you how box plots can give you a nice picture of things. If you look at a case like this is a graph that shows the days of the week on the horizontal axis here, and this shows the time slept. So how many hours slept. And what you can notice right away is Friday and Saturday have the highest averages, right? The line in the middle. These are vertical box plots, right? But the line in the middle is the median. And you can see these medians are the two highest medians, right? And it sort of makes sense if the majority of people work during the week, don't have to work Friday night. They can sleep in Saturday morning. Saturday night they can sleep in Sunday morning, right? These generally tend to be the most sleep. Now, what also might be interesting here from looking at this is that Wednesday is really compact. Most people get about the same amount of sleep on Wednesday, right? But you look at something like Monday and it's very variable, right? It's much wider. There's a much bigger range, anywhere from 4 to 9 hours, right? And the same on Sunday, right? So sometimes when you look at these box plots, they can be used to compare things, and you can get a nice visual comparison of where things lie. And the overall takeaway point from this is that people sleep more on the weekends. Generally, people don't sleep that much on Wednesday and Thursday. Those are sort of the two lowest medians, right? And that's just sort of one nice quick visual from doing these box plots. Okay. All I would ask you to focus on is, here's a list of data, find the 5-number summary, and then turn that into a nice quick visual with a box plot. Okay. So with some practice, this shouldn't be that bad.